Welcome to FitBody Lifestyle, the show where we dive deep into the world of fitness, health, business, relationships, and the art of living a balanced life. I'm Jami.
And I'm Greg, and we're here to give you the benefit of our experiences in the fitness and bodybuilding industry, the corporate world, running a business, personal development, and building healthy relationships.
Whether you're sweating it out in the gym, hustling in your business, or seeking balance in your everyday life, you're in the right place.
So lace up those sneakers and grab that water bottle, and let's get ready to transform our minds, our bodies, and our lives.
Welcome back to another episode of FitBody Lifestyle and today's fusion hack. Of course, I'm here with my partner in crime, Mr. D, Papa Bear, aka Greg DeBernard.
Yep.
Love of my life, all those things.
Thank you, baby. I love to hear that.
I'm excited about our topic today. We're going to talk a bit about sponsorships. And I know I get asked about sponsorships a lot in our industry. I feel like a lot of people come into the industry thinking that it's kind of a given. I'm going to start competing and all these people are going to want to give me money. And the reality of that is that's not really true.
No, it's not. and I think sponsorships are a very interesting thing because it really cuts into a topic that we talked about in the long form, which is authenticity. But and what I would say there is simply that I learned a lesson early on in my life where I was a salesman. I sold shoes, and when I'm selling shoes, there were times when they would offer a spiff or an extra commission on a particular brand or a particular model of shoe that they needed to move at one particular time. And that spiff was an incentive. And I saw other salespeople in my department that just would like, man, if there was a spiff on it, that was the first product that they brought out. For me, I figured out that, man, if I'm selling a product that I don't believe in, I'm not going to be my authentic self. It's just not going to resonate well.
And right? I love that you said that because it really does harken back to our full episode where we talked a lot about authenticity, and that fits very well into what we're talking about now.
And I think that we see this all the time, and I think with a lot of influencers, it's tough, man, because you start out, you're creating content for whatever purpose that you're creating it for, whether your ultimate goal is to become an influencer or you're sharing content because of something you're passionate about or whatever. Man, it's tough because when you start resonating with an audience and then a sponsor sees, oh my gosh, this person is resonating with an audience, and they approach you and say, man, we're going to throw all this money at you for this product. If it's not a product that you believe in, but man, it's hard. It's an ethical debate at that point, which is, can I really embrace this product? And where I would go at with this is the first stop on this, the first tip that I would say on sponsorships is before you look or consider any sponsorship, you got to ask yourself, are you willing to use that product? Are you willing? It's kind of like the same criteria that I pose for what I recommend somebody. I don't want to recommend somebody for anything if I'm not willing to stake my reputation on them. And I learned that in the military is that I'm not going to refer a soldier for a different job or to a different unit and endorse them if I'm not willing to back that up with my own reputation. And I think the same is true with sponsorships.
Yeah, and I completely agree with everything you're saying. And I do think what you're describing is the more rare situation. There's not as many people that have, companies beating down their door going, let me give you a lot of money to talk about my products. I mean, certainly, those people that have very big followings, which if it's something you want, that is something you need to think about. You need to have a niche. You need to make sure that you're building your following. It needs to be real. Let's not, they can tell if you're buying users, if you're buying comments on your posts and things like that. So it needs to be real, authentic, communication and sharing and feedback and things like that. So I was going to kind of approach it from the opposite side, which I think is more often what ends up happening, which is, you're, hoping to get some sponsorship. I mean, competing is not inexpensive. It's an expensive thing to do. So a lot of times, what frustrates companies is when somebody comes in and just gimme. Mm-hmm. Give me some money and I'll promote your product, and that's a big turnoff for most of the companies. And I have good relationships with a lot of them, and it's something I hear them talk to me about often. It's like, oh yeah, these people, they just want, as opposed to, starting to use a product, You find a product you really love, you really believe in, you start sharing it. You start sharing it because you love it and you believe in it and you're using it, not because you necessarily are looking to get sponsorship dollars from it. And then, as your following starts to like, oh, I want to know more about this particular product that you're using and, things like that. Then that's a good time to approach the company and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I really love your product. I've been using it for 2 years. I've been sharing it because I'm just, so passionate about it. If there's an opportunity, I'd love to, be more involved, find out, do they have, an ambassador program? A lot of times companies will have like a way to work your way up the ranks in it. So maybe in the beginning, they give you, a code or something that you can share to, give discounts to the people, that are following. Maybe there's some sort of, commission structure once you get to a certain level. I mean, being totally transparent, like a lot of times this is not a super lucrative thing. It's an opportunity to get a foot in the door. And then from there, you can prove yourself and hopefully then, there's more opportunities as time goes on. But I just wanted to put that out there because, you have to remember that these companies are in business to sell their products and to, grow and to make a profit. So, them just giving out money to athletes to be able to help them compete, while, it's nice and a lot of them, may do that here or there, more often than not, there needs to be return. There needs to be a return on investment. So if they're bringing you on and they're doing some sort of sponsorship with you, then there needs to be the reciprocal of that, you're generating.
Of the with them. What's in it for me?
Right. You're generating some business for them.
And I think one thing a step along the way that we would really advocate for is if you're promoting a product on your Instagram or whatever vehicle you're using, tag the product.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tag the product.
Yeah.
Right.
Tag, share, let them see that you're involved. And maybe then at that point they do approach you or like I said, you approach them in that situation. So I do, there is a way to do this. And I've seen people even that aren't like a top pro, end up with, some great sponsorship opportunities. And what it is they might find a niche. I mean, maybe they're a mom. And so they really appeal to, other moms that are fit in their fitness journey, or, maybe they've been through, they've recovered from some sort of illness and, they've been able to, utilize certain things that they're sharing with a community that's a very specific niche sort of community, that would be more attractive to an advertiser, because if that's their community, then, and you're, even though maybe you don't have the biggest following in the world, but you really resonate with that group of people and there's, you've got some good, content going on, then that might attract, somebody who wants to sponsor you. Interested in changing your life or stepping on stage? Join FitBody Fusion today.
Experience the FitBody Fusion difference with tools, knowledge, and community support to reach your healthy and sustainable lifestyle.
We guide thousands on their fitness journeys, from seasoned athletes to those who are simply seeking a healthier life.
Our expert coaches provide personalized plans and unwavering support, empowering you to thrive.
FitBody Fusion is more than just training. It's a community. We understand the challenges of solo fitness journeys, which is why we foster a supportive environment where members encourage and motivate each other.
Join the FitBody Fusion community today and unlock your full potential.
Head to fitbodyfusion.com to sign up for a free consultation.
And do it today. What's your position on people approaching a vendor or a retailer and saying, hey, I really believe in your product. I want to endorse it. Or
no, I mean, that's what I was saying. I encourage that. I think that's a smart move. I'm just saying, don't do it day one.
Yeah.
You just got in a brand new product, you're trying it for the first time and, hey, I got your product, I think that's where.
What about somebody who's been using a product for a long time, but maybe not posting on it or anything else, but is something that they believe in, that they love? Do you think that in that case, hey, I've been using your product for 3 years. I really believe in it. It's made a difference in my life. Here are the reasons why it's made a difference in my life. And I'm going to start promoting this. I would love for you to sponsor me in doing that.
I mean, you certainly can do that. And at that point, you're providing a nice testimonial. I feel like it's so competitive to get sponsorships that more likely they're going to want to see. And I've seen companies do this before where they're like, okay, we'll do a trial with you. We'll do a 90-day trial and we'll see how it goes. You promote the product and, usually you're not going to make anything during that time anyway. So that's why I'm saying get ahead of the game. If it's something you eventually want to work up to, start sharing it now, especially if you make sure you like it first.
Right.
I mean, don't promote something, because I feel like people lose respect for people who are constantly flip-flopping. If, say it's a supplement company, for example, and it's like you're 6 months, you're with this one, then the next 6 months, oh, no, that one's not any good anymore. This is the best one now. No, now this one's the best one. I mean, of course, we can change our minds or find something new throughout our life or throughout our career. But if it's that constant flip-flopping where it comes off more as, okay, they're paying me more, so I'm switching, then people tune you out. And, if people tune you out, then you're no longer valuable to your sponsors.
Yeah, and I do think this happens a lot. Is people will be very upfront about products that they're endorsing and say, hey, I'm sponsored by this product. And the issue that comes into that, not with the disclosure, but if there's a feeling or an element of potential confirmation bias, is that the reason why this person is endorsing this product, or the reason why they're talking about it so well, is because they have that incentive of being paid for it, or paid by that vendor. I mean, that's tough. And I'm not saying you should do anything different. I'm just saying be mindful as you're watching sponsorships with other people about what is the incentive behind that, and what is what are they telling you about the product?
Right.
What are they telling you about the product?
And I've seen some companies that have used this tactic very successfully, of they're sponsoring everybody.
Yeah.
Sponsoring, I'm putting it in quotes if you're listening and not watching, sponsoring everyone. And so maybe it's like a 10% discount that everybody who's quote unquote sponsored,
which are really more ambassadors than they are sponsored.
And not even that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They may get a discount code, maybe they don't, maybe they just get basically they're using this as a free marketing vehicle. They're giving a small discount, and in return, they're getting their company's information pushed out through, all these people. It's a very inexpensive marketing tactic, which I have nothing against it, but I've told, if I have an up and coming athlete and they have somebody approach them, like a company like that I know is just kind of sponsoring everybody. They're really not getting a whole lot. I don't know that this athlete is going to stick with that company long-term. I would suggest don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, pick and choose wisely, because it's very important, when we talk about it a lot in our longer episode, the authenticity, like you want to be truly authentic. Like, this is a product I believe in, and in that kind of thing. So if it's, a lot of times athletes just want to be able to say they're sponsored, people are smart. They know when, there's 5,000 people that are sponsored by this one company, that they're not really true paid sponsorships. They're usually like, a discount, or they're just trying to create masses and that kind of thing. So just a little bit of a warning on that one.
So as we go down the tips kind of on this, on the Fusion hack. So the first tip that we would say is make sure the product is something that you believe in, that you're using, that you would advocate, that you would put your name behind. I think that's the first point that we would go on this chain. The second point that we would go on this chain is then start building that following. Start promoting that product, start tagging that company in your posts, start to build enough of a following or enough of a reference point relative to your ability to influence that product, that you could then translate that to a vendor or retailer. Mm-hmm. What else after that? Is there anything else after that?
Yeah, I did. There was one other thing I wanted to add, and that is, once you get to the point, that you've decided you are interested in working with a company and they are interested in working with you, I really encourage you to make sure that you're okay and clear on the expectations.
Yep.
And that you're able to live up to those. So in some cases, there's a certain number of posts you need to do. There may be events you need to attend. They may want you to work, trade show booth. Make sure that you're really clear on what's expected and that you're willing and able to deliver on that, because you don't want
and that your values align with it as well.
Yeah, because you don't want to commit to something that isn't committed. And the other thing I was going to say is creating the content that has value around it, rather than just kind of hawking whatever it is. And I feel like most companies have gotten smart to this aspect as well, whereas they used to say you need to post 3 to 5 times a week, you need to send out all this promo stuff, and it starts to look very very advertising on your page, people will start to unfollow you. So you have to be really careful with that. So, say you get 4 or 5 companies and they all want you to post 2 or 3 times a week. Now your whole page is just advertising. So this is, a lot of times it's going to, maybe in the short run, you're going to make a little bit of money, but in the long run, you're going to start to lose. As you lose your following, you're going to lose your sponsors.
Yeah.
So, the companies that have gotten smart will tell people, no, I want you to use my product and share it in a organic sort of way. Share it when you're using it. Oh, I'm creating this meal and I'm putting my favorite protein powder into it because I love this flavor and this and that, as opposed to just buy a tub of this, 2 for 3, 2 for 1 or whatever it is, the situation. So, just things to be thinking about so that you're, thinking more long-term, not short-term, not just taking the first thing that comes along. I think what you said was absolutely true. Like first and foremost, make sure it's something you believe in, that you, and I would even go do a little research on the company, because you might like their product, but you might not like what their company stands for.
Yeah. Or you might not like how the product's made or how it's tested or any of that thing. So it's very interesting you say that, because I do think we start liking what we like without knowing, is this really aligned with my core values?
Right. And once you start putting your name on it, that's where that's even more important. I mean, trying a product is one thing, but then promoting a product is another. So you just want to make sure that that their values are aligned with yours.
Yeah. Well said. We done?
I'm done.
Okay. Hey, everybody, remember to like, comment, subscribe, leave your reviews. Any sponsors out there, if you'd like to sponsor the show, sorry, I couldn't resist that. And remember the 3 B's, everybody.
Be good to yourself.
Be good to each other, and be safe. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to FitBody Lifestyle. We hope today's episode has left you feeling motivated and equipped to tackle your fitness goals, business challenges, and the daily dance of life. Remember to value progress over perfection. Life's tough enough alone. Find the chosen family around you to help you along the way.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite streaming platform. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at FitBodyFusion.